Hey, what's up, Gio? Kind of sad. This is the last teaching video of the trimester. So, way to go. We made it. You only had to listen to Mr. McGowan one time, and Miss Diedeker figured all this stuff out, but she's been working hard putting stuff together on the back end with tests and quizzes and stuff like that. So, teachers have been working their butts off. You guys have been working your butts off, so we appreciate that. Last lesson is just arcs and chords. We're going to be talking about an angle measure, central angle. Central angle is an angle whose vertex is the center of the circle. All right. One of the things we're not going to get to is what we call an inscribed angle, which would be where the vertex of the circle lies, or the vertex of the angle lies on the circle, not in the center. We're not going to get to that, but the inscribed angle is half of the outside measure. So just FYI, future reference, because we're not going to get to that. So we're going to just talk about central angles right now. An arc is the unbroken part of a circle consisting of 2 points on the circle. Okay, so when we talk arc, we're talking about the arc measure from A to C and then the degrees of that. Okay, so we talk the arc measure, we're talking about that degree measure of the circle. The good thing is, if we have a central angle, the arc is the measure of that central angle. So the arc measure AC, and the way we do and show arcs is from what point to what point, and we throw that little arc on top. The central angle is equal to the arc. So if I know that this central angle is 93, the two spots of that angle that intersect the circle, so we intersect at A and C, so that arc measure from A to C is the same exact measure as angle B. Okay? Those two have the same measure. A major arc, usually we do major arcs are bigger than 180 degrees. Minor arcs are usually less than, and we write major arcs with 3 for sure. Okay, so if I was looking at this and I said, hey, what's the measure of A to D? I would be talking about the short way around. Okay, well, I don't want to do that. Do have an update though. I probably should update it. All right, A to D would be this way. That's the short way. Right. If I wanted the long way, I would have to have a third point in there. So start at A, go through C, then all the way to D. And then we would have to find out what that is. Okay? Couple little tricks as we're going through here. Endpoints lie on the diameter. So basically if we have a, F to J splits it directly in half, that diameter, that splits it into a semicircle or half circle, which is 180 degrees. And then the other thing we're going to use, much like the segment addition and angle addition postulate, we have arc addition. So if I know the distance from A to B in degrees, and I have the degree measure of B to C, well then A to C would just be AB plus BC. The entire part plus part equals whole. Okay, so let's go through here and let's try to answer some of these questions. H to G, or J, H to J right here. Good thing is that is in a central angle, right? H to J is intersected by the central angle, so that's equal to 63 degrees. The central angle and the arc measure are the same. Okay, FGH. Okay, let's go FGH. Start at F, go to G, go to H. All right, so what I know is I got to find out FG. I don't know why this is not writing, but that's all right. I got to find out FG. Oh, because my pen turned off. Weird. Okay. I got to find a measure of arc FG, and add that to measure of GH. That's going to give us what we need. Or, okay, we know that, well, I'll show you 2 ways to do it, okay? But both ways involve 180, so we know that F all the way to J is 180. Okay, so these 3 bits, 1, 2, 3, have to add up to 180. So we can do 65 plus 63 plus question mark, okay? And question mark is going to be this guy right here, right? And then when we do 65 and 63, we're going to subtract that from 180, and we're going to get a grand total of 52. So question mark equals 52. Okay, so then FG is 65. G to H we just found, which was question mark, right? Because G to H, central angle is 52. Add those pieces together and you get 117 degrees. Okay, we could also get that by basically thinking of it as 3 parts that are adding up to 180. But the only part we don't want is 63, so you can actually do 180 minus 63, and that's going to give you 117 degrees as well. So a couple of different ways to look at this. Your brain's going to show you one way, and that's cool. Okay, so measure of C to D to E. Well, I know CD is 90. I get and, right? So C to D is 90. And then D to E. You guys see the vertical angles here? I sure do, right? Because, I mean, we got to think way back to unit 1 here. Vertical angles make that X. So if that's 40, then this guy over here is 40 degrees. So 90 plus 40 equals 130 degrees. Okay, B to C to D. So B to C to D. Well, how am I going to attack this one? Does anyone see? I'm going to do what I just did in the last one. The whole thing from A to D is 180. I only want the degree measure of these 2 central angles. So I'm just going to do 180 minus the 40 degrees. That's going to give us 140 degrees. And that's going to be the measure from arc measure from B to C all the way to D. All right, let's find LMN. L to M to N. So we have to find this little piece right here and then add that with that little piece right there. How am I going to find that little piece? Well, I'd always look for that 180 degrees because that's going to help us start that out. So here's my 180 degrees. Again, you could add these 2 together, subtract from 180, and then that gives us this piece. And we wanted to do LMN, so we would add up those 2 central angles. One way to do it. Or, again, we have 180 degrees going from N all the way to Q. So I could just do 180 minus the 105. That's going to give me this piece plus this piece already. So that's going to give me, looks like 75 degrees. And L, N, P. Okay, we'll do this one in L to N all the way to P. So what do I need to do? I have to find this guy still. And we don't have to find out M to N, or sorry, N to P, because we know M all the way to P is already 180 degrees. We already know that's 180. So I can find out this guy by doing 105 plus the 30, subtract 180. Okay, 105 plus 30 is 135 minus 180. Get 45 degrees. So then 45 degrees, which is this much here from this part of the arc here, is 45, and then the rest of the arc is 180. So 180, ooh, that's hard to see. We'll change it to black. So the 45 degrees plus the 180 degrees equals 225 degrees. And does our answer make sense? Yep, because it's over halfway, right? Because our halfway is here, so we should be more than 180. Okay, so a couple tips. Try to figure out, use vertical angles. Use the idea that the half circle or that diameter cuts it in half, so it's 180 degrees. Part plus part equals whole. Nice job, guys. This trimester, proud of you. Keep submitting your work. If you're not caught up yet, that's cool. You have the last 2 weeks now. You have the rest of this week with the standard check and quiz still. And then the last 2 weeks of school, you have to get caught up. So if you are at a passing grade and you like your grade, come Thursday, and that gets graded, you're done. Awesome job, good work. If not, get your butt caught up. Adios.